That is undermining him and taking away his authority. And the more you do that, the more it signals that you are disrespectful to your husband and you don't believe in his leadership, and the children will follow your lead. They will see that, hey, he's not worth listening to.
We live in a culture now where people are canceled for tweets that they made in high school, or an off-color remark that they make on a microphone, or even accusations that come from decades previous. But what we don't cancel people for, at least in the Black community, is being reckless with their procreation. All three of these famous celebrities combined 19 babies' mothers and 30 children. But the beat goes on in our community in terms of their being able to continue to make their content or their music and continue to make people laugh and not get canceled. But in this kind of abnormal normal that we've found ourselves in, we have to ask a very simple question, because we know what happens when baby mothers and baby fathers don't get along. The kids come out not good.
This past Friday, I got the news that my dad died. And before you go to leave your condolences, I didn't know the man. I did not know the man. I never met him. He was a deadbeat. I don't have a therapist right now, so I'm gonna talk to y'all. I'm feeling like how Tupac said about his daddy. He passed away and I didn't cry, 'cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger.
In a way, it's still surprising to me to see young people that are on social media and they're not just apathetic, but in a way you can see here, she's rejoicing in the passing of her quote-unquote deadbeat father. And this speaks to the importance of not just having a healthy relationship with your father from father to child, but having a healthy level of respect between the father and the child. And dare I say, a healthy level of respect between the father, the mother, and the child. And if you don't have that, you get these anomalies, which has become the norm in our relationships in the Black community, where you see children straight up not respecting their fathers.
The way you treat your husband is the way your kids will treat their father. So make sure you're treating your husband with respect, because he is the man that your kids will grow up to be. So if you're disrespecting him, you're also subliminally telling your kids that they should be disrespected.
Notice that she began her conversation by saying her husband and not boyfriend or baby daddy, but think about what it says to a child when you have one parent, in this case a mother, deliberately disrespecting the father in front of the child. Inside of that child, they're going through some kind of battle to try and determine what their worth is, how they should relate with one parent over the other. And this internal conflict causes a lot of trouble for kids. And for people that are proper adults, they would know to not put a child in that position in the first place, which is what many other cultures understand.
They shouldn't be respected by their partners. You're setting a bad example for their relationships in the future. So ladies, if you want to make sure your kids have the best relationships in the future and a healthy and happy childhood, teach them to respect their fathers.
If you ever find yourself in an unfortunate situation of co-parenting, you need to make sure that the person you chose to procreate with understands that there are several tenets to co-parenting in order to make sure that the children have the best opportunity to grow up emotionally healthy. One of the tenets that's probably the most important tenet is to refrain from bad-mouthing the co-parent. Mind what you say about your ex to his or her child. Boundaries don't relate only to your ex-partner, it's also about how you relate with the children concerning their mother or father. Some parents badmouth their ex in front of their kids or use their kids as weapons against the other party. Parental alienation is also one of the worst things you can do as a co-parent, both morally and because of the psychological and relationship damage to your child.
And I'll tell you how you can do that. When the father says something, you shouldn't intervene or undermine him or try to cut him and say something else, no matter how much you think you're correct. If he's being too harsh on a punishment, or maybe he's disciplining them a little too hard, don't come in and say no, or try to assert your authority. That is undermining him and taking away his authority. And the more you do that, the more it signals that you are disrespectful to your husband and you don't believe in his leadership, and the children will follow your lead. They will see that, hey, he's not worth listening to.
You didn't even try for me. I don't think that you really understand how much that you have broke me as a woman.
Well, I mean,
No more excuses.
The worst thing you can have in your household is kids that don't respect their father, they don't obey their father. In fact, it'll lead to kids having very horrible adulthoods. They could end up in the hospital, they could end up in jail, or worse, in a grave. So if you love your kids, make sure you respect your husband and set a good example for them.
She started her video by saying the way that wives respect their husbands is the way that kids will respect their fathers. And she's basically saying that it's a learned skill, and we can see that there's not a healthy dose of respect for fathers or men in general, and dare I say black men in our case. And so for many black men in particular, we have to exercise the skill of not just respecting, but garnering respect. And one thing you can do this holiday season when you're around family and friends and extended family and the like is to learn ways to garner respect without being boisterous. I think the easiest way to demand respect is if you're in a situation where you feel disrespected, the best thing you can do is just say, I am not going to participate in a relationship where I'm being disrespected. So I will gracefully remove myself from the premises. It is this skill, learning how to garner respect, that I think many passport bros or expatriates or black men going overseas need to exercise. This is the skill that is going to keep your relationship strong. And when you sense disrespect, you'll have practice, even when you're dealing with your family over the holidays, as to how to put that small forest fire out before it becomes a problem. But I think it's very important for us to understand the muscle that we need to maybe even reinvigorate to demand respect. And if it's not there, I don't need to be there either. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Have a happy holiday season, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.